It's a Quake. Welcome to It's a Quake, podcast by the NMT. This is a platform where we take charge of our own growth and development by engaging with experts and industry leaders to find solutions to issues affecting us on a daily basis. And to discuss this, I have with me Likukela as well as Ndapanda Nekongo. Welcome to It's a Quake.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now let's get right into it. Mali, what are your thoughts on unemployment in Namibia and how exactly are the youth affected?
Well, thank you very much for that question. I think we need to begin to look at this issue by first dissecting it. What do we mean by unemployment? We are facing with a situation where young people do not have things to do to earn a living, to make a living. Is that unemployment? That's where we must start. Now, from where I am sitting and based on the general definition of unemployment, which is believed to be the state of not having a job, is a serious problem. And a lot of young people, like you said, are in that state. They don't have jobs. They have qualifications, but they don't have jobs. They don't have opportunity to demonstrate and make a living out of that which they've studied in schools and in universities. And that is a serious problem. And not only is the problem financially, but also psychologically. Because the moment you stay without a job for years and years, you begin to lose value of your own self-worth. And for me, that is the biggest problem, because over a long period of time, the more value you lose for yourself, the more hopeless you become, and the more energy you lose to pull yourself out of that situation. And so I am very, very much concerned, especially with the statistics confirming that the majority of unemployed young people actually have qualification. It is a serious concern for me. But definitely, we need to dissect and go deeper into it to say, what is really causing this? Is this unemployment, is this definition something that we need to hang on to so that we can find a solution? We need to have that conversation.
And one of the things that I really like about what you said is that it's people who have qualifications. And you know, in Namibia, we are told that you must study, education is the key to success. And now it's beginning to become a thing of, actually it's not, because we study, we do what we're supposed to do, we go to school, we suffer those modules, we are staying up late to study and then just to not find a job for years. Ndapanda, what do you think is the issue with unemployment in Namibia from your perspective?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I will say currently the issue that we are facing as unemployment youth is, I'll say it's the entry level. You find yourself in a situation where you qualify to apply for a certain position, but looking at the experience that the certain company that is asking, it's way too much. And then I think maybe it's high time also we need to look at the situation where we need to cater the unemployment youth by creating a system that is only saying that, no, we have induction training for you for 3 months, whether it's a private company or maybe a public companies, that can really encourage us as people that are suffering from getting job or hunting for job, because it's going to be very good. When you finish, you graduated, you get your degree, and then when you get home, you apply for a certain vacancy, you know that, no, I'll just go to a certain companies and then have my induction, first the induction process. Looking at that 3 years experience, 8 years experience, it's really stressing us some of the times. And it's also just discouraging us to keep more effort. And this is a point where it forces us to do something that your heart didn't desire to do it. You force yourself to go and hustle out because you drop your qualification in the coffer and you end up doing maybe catering, of which it was not your passion. So it's actually...
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really problematic what you're saying. It even decreases the value of a degree, of a master, of even a diploma, because now it's kind of like you are in the same level as somebody who didn't study at all. Now you also have to go do waitressing, or you have to become a bartender, or you have to now go clean while you studied. You know, you spend sleepless nights. Those modules, it's expensive, it's difficult, and we went through all that just for you to not find a job. And another issue, Mali, that I just want to ask you is, do you think, because some people usually say the reason why young people are not getting jobs or we are not getting jobs is because we study courses that have no market, or there are no jobs available for the new courses that we are studying. So is it really that we are studying the wrong courses with no jobs, or is the market saturated? What is it exactly?
Yeah, you know, I honestly don't know. It's very confusing because that what you're saying reminds me of something that I've heard. And I like this wise man who said, he said, nowadays, the situation we have nowadays is like a parent who tells a child, my child, education is the key. So the child goes to get education. When they come back, they find that the lock has changed.
Yeah.
You see, that is the situation we are having. When we go to universities and colleges, we aspire to be accountants and what have you, because that's what our parents, that's what society has molded us to think is the way to go. Meanwhile, the environment, the economics, the conditions are changing so rapidly that which you study for 4 years might not necessarily be relevant in the work environment after 4 years. Who knew that there will be online teaching? Who knew that online teaching would be the thing of the day? Some of us spent years and years trying to get qualification to be professional lecturers in class, standing in front of students. Now you are told, online, Papa. And where do you start with online? You have never even created a Facebook account.
Yeah.
So you realize that most of the teachers, for example, that have graduated in the past few years, their skills, the things that they've studied, will need to be updated for them to be aligned with what the market, what the industry really wants. Now, coming to your question, this is a question that we have been grappling with at policy level to say, what could be the problem? Is it a skills mismatch where you have got students studying for something that the industry does not want? But that is not the case, because when a course is introduced at a university, there is a process where the industry is consulted. And even some of the industry experts are sitting on those committees. I was sitting in one of those committees where we looked at economic courses that NUST wanted to introduce. We said, look, this is what the industry needs. Make sure that your course contains these kind of skills. 4 years, economic students are on the street, no job. What happened? So there is a time lag between the skills acquired and the time that the skill is needed. And that brings me to the question of experience. You are given, or you are taught at master's level of economics, at policy level. And so you apply for a policy level position. But then the policy level position requires you to have had 6 years of experience. From where?
From where, indeed.
And now the universities are introducing these internship programs. But the internship programs must be done collaboratively, jointly with the industry. But the industry is not coming to the party because they are saying, look, we have money to, this business here. We can't just put people in our system. It costs us money to train and. So there lies the challenge. How do we bring academia and industry to speak the same language for the sake of our youth? Because the issue of skills mismatch, for me, really is not a case. Because really, before a program is introduced, either at university, college, there is industrial consultations.
Yeah, so it's not as if you are not consulted on the...
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely not. You are consulted. Everyone knows that this bunch of students are going to study ABCD, something that we advise the university to introduce and include in the course.
Okay.
But then students are surprised, and that goes back to what I said. You come back, the locks have changed, but you have the key, the right key. But the locks have changed. Who changed the lock? That is the issue.
Yeah.
And that is very, very deep, because it goes down to who owns the economy, who owns the factors of production. That's how deep it goes. But again, we have institutions in place that must look at those things and bring them to the shallow waters so that they can be interrogated and something to be done.
Yeah, and also you're talking about internships. Now, I've also had an experience with internships, and most people also have an experience, some of them that get the opportunity to, have an internship. And my problem with internship also with now people who just came out of university. Now, after you've graduated, you can't find a job, so you opt for internships. Some of them pay, some of them don't pay.
Yeah.
Even if they don't pay, you go for experience because now you at least get a recommendation. And then some of them don't pay. And for me, the problem is those that don't pay also. Because now the thing is, you are broke, you came out of university, you don't have taxi money. These people are telling you, come work for me. But they are not even going to give you taxi money, not even lunch. And you don't have anything. So what is your take on that? Is it that they don't have money at all? Should we be grateful that they're giving us the opportunity at least and a good recommendation? Or do you think that companies, private and even government, can do more to at least make sure that with these internships, give us something, you know?
Let me come in there before she gets in. I think that's why I said it's a collaborative, it's a joint effort that is needed here. Businesses or industries are in the business of making money, and every resources within their building must justify the value to be in. That does not clean them from that issue. The university on the other side must make sure that they do not wait for me to get to third year or fourth year before they introduce me to company A, company X. In other countries, first years are already put into the system. You agree with the industry, you tell the industry that we have got this intake of young people. They will be graduating in 4 years' time, but in the third year, we need them to have an opportunity to come and get a real life feeling. Already the companies are putting in process that so that those young people can come in. They have capacity. I have seen it. That's why they advertise bursaries day in, day out. The reason some of these companies are advertising is so that they are seen by the media and by the system that they are caring for the young people. It is for their own, not for the young people. So we need the universities speaking to the industry early enough for the industry to create space for the young people to come in. Because that is the only way we can bridge that gap of skill experience. And also, the issue of these companies that are not paying, it goes against everything. Against labor,
even
against
like companies
everything.
that you know have money.
How
like
do
you can afford to
yeah.
give me taxi money.
Come on.
It's a quake.
It's a quake.
It's a quake.
It's a quake.
Yeah.
How do you make someone to work for you without pay? It's even a sin.
It's because maybe you are in a situation where let me just sacrifice myself because I want to
And
experience.
they know we are
Desperate.
desperate.
Yeah,
We are
your
desperate.
desperation has really put you in that state to say, let me just go and see how it's going to
Yes.
be because I'm eager to get experience.
It is a big challenge, and that's why collaborative efforts are really supposed to happen. But we've just been talking about the companies and the universities. There is someone in the middle also there. What is the Ministry of Youth doing? What are youth organizations doing to come to the plight of the young people that are on the street? We are talking National Youth Council, National Youth Service, the ministry itself. Yes, they are doing something for other youth, but we are talking about these youth that are coming from the university, because if you go to National Youth Council, they said, okay, we are taking care of the vocational students, fine. We are taking care of the youth in the village, fine. What about the youth from the university? Who is taking care of him? You come out of the university with a big account from NASFAF. And I understand they even phone these days to say, hey, do you remember that we gave
That you owe us.
That increases from the stress, that you have. So the middlemen, what is their role in this issue? We need to interrogate that as well so that we see whether we have exhausted all avenues to come to a solution.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And another thing is also, we hear a lot from politicians and also other people. They say that, we shouldn't wait for the government to create jobs for us. We should create those jobs and employ other people. And I think in this way would reduce the burden of the government to be the ones to always produce jobs for everybody. But then there are people out there, I even know myself, who have brilliant business ideas, but they lack funding to do so. And if you can't even afford taxi, how do you want me to fund a whole business idea that probably requires a lot of money? So what is your take on this?
Maybe before she comes in, some of these things we should really be blunt and call a spade a spade. I believe in really addressing issues. The only person that I know who have created something out of nothing was God. Yes, we are all Christian. It's only God that can create something out of nothing. As young people, we have ideas. We need something to actuate the ideas. You need capital. You can't just come out of the university with brilliant ideas and create something. You need a start-up capital. This is where DBN comes in. This is where the Minister of Youth with their grants to the youth come in. And for government and politicians to say young people should create jobs for themselves, it's like really asking us to be gods. We can't be gods. We need a startup. We need somewhere to start with. We don't ask for $1 million. A small project like this one does not require even $500,000. All you just need is maybe 50 grand. You are up and running. Where is that opportunity? If that opportunity is there, the minister last week was saying there's 450 million that government has given to DBN for the youth. Question is, how many youth have access to DBN? DBN with their list of requirements. Collateral, my books. The only collateral I have is my cell phone. Make the system conducive for a young person.
And easily accessible.
And easily accessible.
Yeah, definitely.
Now these things, politicians don't even go deeper into it because they know that these things will arrest them, will arrest their conscience. But we need to bring them out to say, look, the political rhetorics must fall. We need practical solution. What young people need is practical solutions.
Definitely. Ndapanda, what's your take on it?
I would say we young people, we're actually trying by all means to put everything on the ground. We try so hard to put something on the paper.
We're doing our part.
We are doing our part. I finished my graduations, I finished my degree, I put it at home. I come up with an idea to say, I want to come up with an idea of how to start a business of making fat cake. Okay, I start the idea. But looking at it to go into practical, as Mali was saying, there is scarcity of that.
Yes.
What if we young people can just come together maybe and say, let's approach the government, let's see how the government is going to fund us. Let's talk about 14 regions in Namibia. How are we going to get this idea to say, no, all 14 regions, let's get two young people from different regions with business ideas, let's drop it on the board and see how are we going to handle them. It's also an encouragement to other young people that want to do the same thing, because if we keep doing this each and every year, coming from the government perspective or from anyone, we are encouraging us, they are encouraging us to say every year, I'm expecting to apply for a certain grant. I'm expecting to submit my business idea. So from all 14 regions, 2 young people are going to be out or to be selected. So I'm going to give these descriptions to my friend who is also not employed to say, no, my friend, try next year. This opportunity is really good. It's encouraging us not to stay home and sleep and watch TV. Yeah.
And really with what Mali was saying about like the money that they're given or these institutions are given for young people, some years you can even find like they didn't utilize all the money, and there are people who need the money. So it's such a shame that, or they use it on things that really didn't serve us so well, things that we don't want them to spend at the moment. And one of the really few things that I picked up is that like there are requirements. Like for example, they say you need to be in business for at least a year for you to qualify for the loan to start your own business. And I'm just like, I haven't had capital to start my business. Where am I going to? How was I able to? Or how would I have operated my business for already a year? So should also look at that. People, they should look at fresh ideas. People who didn't have the opportunity to start their businesses. But this is a very burning conversation. I know that we are all.
Rachel, let me just cut you there because that's currently now I'm bringing you back to entry level. It's in everything. Requirements in everything. Now, if you are telling me that I need to be in the business for a certain year, I mean, I'm also eager to start my business. I'm also eager to bring something on the board. But then now entry level, that's what I'm so concerned about, entry level.
It's
if
like
we can,
chains.
It's really chains. If we can reduce it, we can even come to a point like, we can go to every business and like, I saw Rachel, she's doing this business. I saw Ndapanda, she's doing this and that.
Yeah, very, very good examples over there.
There are institutional barriers to entry. And I agree with her 100% to say, let's remove these systematic barriers. Let young people have access. Forget about this 5 years of experience. From where? Make the system conducive and friendly to young people. That's why they are called young people. They are young. They are starting. They don't have
10 years
They don't have 10 years of experience. And like right now, I can have some fantastic ideas about Bitcoin business. Those old people, the senior people, have no idea what Bitcoin is. For them to understand and believe the Bitcoin really makes sense, they need to see you should have done it for 5 years. Bitcoin just started last year. Where will I find 5 years to show you?
True.
And I need money. I need this because...
And what I've also seen, what you're talking about, Mali, is that they don't want to take risks on us. They don't want to take a chance. That's why they're asking for a year of experience, because they're like, what if you fail? But how about you just take a chance on young people?
What if I need to challenge myself?
What if I need to challenge myself and really just take the opportunity? And, we are running out of time right now. So I would just like to ask, what do you think, we can talk about this the whole day, but what do you think can be done to curb the high rate of unemployment in Namibia from a personal and government level? I think we can start with you, Ndapanda.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Last year, in September, I posted something on my social media account concerning unemployment, looking at the entry level. I'm more concerned about that because it's something that also personally affects me. If our private companies can try to recheck, and also public sector can also try to recheck that their entry level, to say this is only cater for graduates that are coming from universities. You have to need to just come in our companies, have this 6 years induction training. I'll be really glad to be that. I'll even take, if I have chance, I will take chances by all companies because I know.
It'll be a step forward.
Induction training, you know, when you give me an induction training, how to switch on a computer in this system, how to do this, I'll actually pick it up. But 3 years experience, 4 years experience.
From where?
I have a degree. And then you're asking 4 years or 5 years from where I graduated last year. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
It makes me so speechless and become like.
It's very emotional. I don't know if people get how much this affects us. I know it's the people in power. But Mali, what is your take?
I'm 100% in agreement with her. All I can just add is that 2 words. In fact, 1 word: entrepreneurship. Because this economy is not growing fast enough, large enough to create jobs, we need to create an environment where we are given opportunities to create our own jobs. That is entrepreneurship. We have plenty of young people with exciting ideas. Some of the ideas, you won't believe it, but they exist. All that person needs is just money to start and put it into action. I'll conclude by giving an example. Countries like Ghana or Gabon, these are African countries where unemployment is so low. You know why? Because the definition of unemployment is different from ours. If you have a business to do, you are not counted as unemployed. You are employed. Self-employed is also counted. For us here, we need that. What do we need? We need government to come through for us so that we don't rely on their jobs. They can keep their jobs. We need to create our own. All we just need is support, startup capitals. We have idea. If we do that, unemployment level in Namibia will be the lowest because everyone will be self-employed, and that's what we need.
What institutions do you know, or just opportunities available out there for young people to get funding for their businesses? Do you know of any that you could perhaps share right now?
Yes, definitely the traditional ones. DBN. The minister last week announced that they've given DBN money. This came from his mouth.
So DBN is the one?
DBN is the one. There's money for the youth at DBN. Go there, find out. Minister have said. On top of that, President said also last week during the Harambe, he said that his government, our government, is prepared to meet the youth halfway, in fact, to prioritize youth. So that money at DBN is waiting for us youth to go and make use of it. Other private institutions are also on board. Go to NCCI, Chamber of Commerce, right there. They also have got packages and programs for young entrepreneurs, especially women. The CEO of NCCI is a woman, and she believes very much in women empowerment. She is a fantastic person to speak to. She will guide you. And then finally, in terms of really mentoring and all, there are so fantastic, phenomenal people in Namibia that can mentor and coach young people to achieve their dreams. One of them is Tuapewa Kaviko. I'm not putting her on a pedestal, but she has done amazing things. And I do believe that she's still willing to do and help everyone.
Yes. Thank you so much for the discussion. Thank you so much for joining me, Mali, as well as Ndapanda. It was a very fruitful conversation.
Thank you.
And yes, thank you.
It's always a pleasure. It is a quake.
It's a quake.
It's a quake.